Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. In this video, we are showing off an extension to the custom LEGO microscale Clone Wars models, which includes now the AT-OT, Nu-class Shuttle, UT-AT, and the ever-beloved turbo tank, all from the designer Alex Capodre. All microscale models are built at 1/250 scale, so that means they line up with all these other custom models you see on the screen, and it's especially fun to see how insanely large the original turbo tank is compared to the rest of these smaller vehicles. Now before I jump in, first I'd like to say that if you wanted to build any of these creations for yourself, the instructions can be found at brickvault.toys. With each purchase comes the PDF step-by-step building guide, plus a parts list for fast ordering your pieces online. We physically test each model, we test the instructions so they're easy to build, and the parts are chosen for availability on the brick buying marketplaces. Buying instructions is a great way to help support the channel and the talented designers we work with, like Alex Capodre, who has also got some great looking nanoscale frigates that are proportional to some other massive creations. There is a link in the description below, and I want to start off now by getting into the details of the HAVW A6 Juggernaut Clone Turbo Tank first. It's certainly the flagship of this little bundle of models, and also just a fun monstrosity of a vehicle. This is one of my favorite single weird vehicle details in all of Star Wars. Plenty of you may already know this, but I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that maybe don't. There are, in fact, two versions of the turbo tank. There is the updated HAVW A5 Juggernaut. This is the more commonly seen one, and the original A6, as seen in the Battle of Kashyyyk. Looking at some different shots of the turbo tank over time, this is from the Clone Wars. The A5 is only slightly above the size of an AT-TE. And then how about this shot from Rogue One? You see Jyn Erso, freeze frame. She's getting K2S owned right now, but don't let that distract you. Look at the size of the wheel in comparison to the body. That's an A5.
Congratulations, you are being rescued.
You even see an A5 in the most recent Bad Batch show as well, so it's by far the most common version of the turbo tank. It's technically the new and improved iteration of the model, which is in fact only 40% the size of the original A6, like seen in the Battle of Kashyyyk. And that's the one we've got. There are very few shots of the turbo tank here and not a ton of great comparative materials. You really have to freeze frame and look at some things to get an idea of just how big this tank is, which is in fact the biggest beast on the Star Wars battlefield by a long shot. Even looking at other micros, you can see the AT-AT by 2 impaired. These two models, once again, scale correctly to each other. So just try to imagine the Battle of Hoth with just one of these turbo tanks on the side of the Empire. They couldn't even feel a tow cable. Okay, I didn't mean to get lost in the weeds. It's just that the turbo tank A6 is a really fun vehicle to show off at scale due to its massive, overly massive size. So the details themselves for this LEGO build are pretty great. Alex, the designer, seamlessly integrates brick walls and brackets and wedge plates to line up all the correct shapes. There are some subtle coloring and greebling inlaid to the model as well. Plus the wheels are huge, the body is robust, and all in all, it's just a very good looking turbo tank at this size. Now it's definitely worth jumping into some details on the other builds. The Nu-class Shuttle is the predecessor to the Lambda class. Cough, cough, I know that it is pronounced Nu-class Shuttle, but when I heard about this thing forever ago, I called it the NU, and now I'm just stuck saying that, so there's nothing you can do about it. And I always thought that this is a ship that is somewhat stuck in limbo. Its official name, in fact, has attack/transport in there, and later it gets a few specialized mods, but this is kind of a do a bit of this and do a bit of that type of shuttle. We are looking at the original NU variant, which essentially is really good for inserting specialized strike forces or asset extraction. The LEGO model has the integrated wing folding function for its landing mode, and it is an easy to handle little build. You can bend the mid joint for the wing, which should technically always remain at a single angle, but in essence, an incredibly simple little model to manipulate with a great looking build for the cockpit. All right, let's jump on down now to the UT-80. It's one of the stranger and more elusive vehicles to ever be a part of the Republic arsenal, who very rarely ever used repulsor lift vehicles. This is nicknamed the Trident for those 3 big cannons in the front. It hovered over the battlefield and provided heavy and accurate firepower to the front lines. By all accounts, this looks like a very effective combat vehicle, but it's basically only seen for a brief moment in Revenge of the Sith. The LEGO model itself is very ambitious here. The designer included several of those intersecting angles in an attempt to get those stark, sharp lines of the front end to line up properly. I think it's a great looking model, a bit wide proportionally perhaps, but I'm thoroughly impressed with both the intricacy going on under the hood and its robust build despite the fact it's got all these strange angles. Last up is the AT-OT. Once again, only really seen during that Order 66 sequence. This open-top transport always kind of reminds me of a water bear, you know, those 4 legs on either side, so it's an 8-legged walker, and according to the information that we have on it, it's only really to have seen combat towards the end of the war, which makes me wonder if it got repurposed for non-military uses after the fighting ended, considering it's mostly just a walker that transports people around. All in all, this is a fun little simple LEGO model that works well to fill out a larger convoy of vehicles. Now, except for the Nu-class Shuttle, this whole bundle is basically the Revenge of the Sith crew of vehicles for the micro models. These are fun and easy little designs to put together, and I'm especially happy with the final construction for that turbo tank. Once again, instructions can be found at our web store, BrickVault.toys. Let me know what types of other models you would like to see built in the future. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or share, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.